What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with Samsung Galaxy A13 camera tips and tricks. So let's get started. Now, despite the Galaxy A13 being a lower end budget phone from Samsung, we still have a variety of different camera features and quite a few cameras with the actual device itself. Now, the front-facing camera is 8 megapixels, and then on the back of the device, we have a 50 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle camera that can capture images at up to 123 degrees, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode. And we do have portrait mode with both the rear and front cameras on this phone. Now, to access these various cameras, by default at 1x here, this is the main camera. Then we can go over to 0.5 to get to the ultra wide angle camera. And as you can see, we can fit a lot more content into the frame. Then we can go over to the More tab to find the macro camera for those close-up images. And then from here, we can go over to this button in the corner to flip around to the front-facing camera. And then we also have portrait mode down here to get those blurred out backgrounds. And also, in addition to that, this phone does support a group selfie option. So we can go to this button right here, and it does crop out things just a little bit so you can better fit multiple people in one front-facing photo. Now, you can pretty easily change the aspect ratio with the Galaxy A13, and that's by going up here. So you can see right now by default, it is set to 3:4, but if we go here, you'll see that we have an option for full, which is the size of the entire display. We can also go over to 1:1, which is a square. There's also 9:16 or 16:9 based on which way you have everything situated here. That's great for thumbnails, for example. And then 3:4, I already showed you that. But there's also 3:4 at the full 50 megapixels. So if you do want to get the full 50 megapixels, then there you go, it's right there. Just keep in mind that it is going to take up quite a bit more storage on your device for each picture that's taken. And then also up here is the timer. So we have options for 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and 10 seconds. And then we can also go to the flash to toggle that. And then this gear icon right here is the settings. So once we're in the settings, there's a lot of different options here to choose from. Now, the first one that I want to show you here is called Swipe Shutter Button to take burst shot. So with that enabled, we're going to go back here, and by swiping down on the shutter button, we can take burst images. So right there, I just took 28 images very quickly. So that's pretty awesome, especially good in situations where you want to get that perfect photo. So there you go. We can also go over to the same area to create a GIF instead, or GIF based on how you say it. And then now, by doing the same thing, we are now capturing a GIF image. So we'll go here and take a look at that. And you can see we have indeed created that image. So pretty cool there. Definitely a nice, quick, and easy way to create a GIF or GIF. Also in this area is an option for high efficiency pictures. So if you enable that, that's going to shrink down file sizes even further for your various photos, which definitely could be a good thing, especially considering that, at least in the US, the A13 comes with only 32 gigabytes. So that's not going to get you very far. So I do recommend enabling that just so that you can get the most out of the internal storage on your phone. You can also save selfies as previewed, so they won't flip around once you take a selfie. We also have an option to reduce file size for videos too. So if you want to do that, then that will cut down on the actual file size. And again, in the same sense that you want to take high efficiency pictures, it'll help you get more out of the space that your phone has. There's also HDR. Now this other one I want to show you is called grid lines. Now when that's enabled, we can go back here, and now you can see that we do indeed have grid lines. So if you do want to use the rule of thirds, for example, to take photos or videos, then you can do that here, which is pretty cool. And then in this area of the settings, we have shooting methods. So we'll go there, and we have several different things here. So the first one is to press the volume keys to take a picture or record a video. So we'll give this a try right now. But essentially, if I use the volume key, it'll now take a photo or a video based on what I'm in. So that's certainly really convenient. It essentially gives you a dedicated hardware shutter button. But we can also go over here and make a change to that so that you can actually use the volume keys to zoom in or out. So now you can do volume up to zoom in, and then volume down to zoom out. And if you zoom out all the way, it'll actually take you over to the ultra wide angle camera. There's also one more option called Control System Volume. So if you want the volume keys to act as actual volume keys for the device at all times, even if you're in the camera app, then you can do that if you want to. Another option here is called floating shutter button. So if we enable that and then go back here, you'll see that we now have a shutter button that does indeed float. So you can put this anywhere throughout the interface, and essentially it doubles as a shutter button. So if you want to use this shutter button, you can do that, but you can also use this other one too. Then there's another option here called show palm. So if you show your palm, it'll actually tell the phone then to take a selfie. So we'll go over to the selfie camera. And then now, this is kind of hard to do on video, but I'm going to show my palm. And there we go. We just took a selfie. Let's try that out one more time. There we go. Okay, not so bad. So that's pretty cool. Now there's another option in this area, and it's called settings to keep. Now with this, you can actually set certain settings to the default. So you can see here with camera mode, that's an option. So we'll start the camera in the last mode used, such as video, for example, instead of always starting in photo mode. We also have selfie angle. So it'll keep the angle you last used for the front camera. So the camera will no longer switch between normal and wide angles based on the number of people in the selfie. So if you do want it to be set to the group selfie option at all times, then you do have that ability to do that here. And then you can also set it so that certain filters are always pulled up by default. Now you've probably noticed that in the camera app, we have these various quick toggles here. So you can easily get to photo mode, you can easily get to video mode, you can easily go to portrait mode. But you can see under the More tab, we do have several other options. So for example, if you want to add the macro camera down to this area in the bottom, you can actually do that by tapping on this plus button. And then from there, just grab macro and then just drop it right in there, go to save. And then now you'll see that we have that option down below here. So that does make it very convenient to access that feature, or really any feature for that matter that's available in the More tab. Not that we really have a lot of them with this phone, but at least, for the ones that we do have, we can then customize things. And then you can also put it back to where it was. And technically, if you want to take portrait mode out of here, you can do that too. So it is cool that we actually can customize the camera app and the whole layout here to exactly how we want it to be. And then the final thing I want to show you is called Side Key. Now this feature is enabled by default, which is pretty awesome, but essentially all you have to do is double press on the power button and it will pull up the camera app right away. So it doesn't matter where you are throughout the operating system, it'll pull up that camera app. You can even have the whole display off and do the same thing, and it'll take us right over to there. Now if you have another camera app on your device, or really any app for that matter, you can actually further customize this. So we're going to pull down the shade, go to the settings, go to search, type in side, and you'll see right there, side key, and then go there. And then you'll see that we do indeed have quick launch camera enabled by default. But if you go to open app instead, and then go to this gear icon, we can choose from any of the apps on this device. So maybe we want to do Instagram instead, select that. And then now, by double pressing on the power button, it'll take us right over to Instagram. But this concludes camera tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy A13. Again, this is specifically for the 4G LTE model of the device. And I certainly hope you found this video to be helpful and you learned something new today. But if you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you do own a Galaxy A13, definitely let me know in the comment section below what you think about the device. And more importantly, what do you think of the various cameras on this phone? Do you think that even though it is a lower end phone, it still is pretty capable when it comes to the various cameras? I'm definitely curious to know what you think. But again, thanks for watching. This is Kevin, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.